Buddy, yeah, great questions. I appreciate you calling in. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Morning, Lou.
Yeah, good morning.
Tuning in from the Middle East, so it actually is morning. Um, so yeah, just love the show. Um, very bored this time of year. I'm sure you are too. Um, just ready for college football to come back. I've been thinking. I just like to talk, so I've been thinking of topics to even discuss. But the Nick Saban crying about the division stuff, just still, or crying about the permanent opponent stuff, is still getting me tickled pink. Um, and I had a kind of a his argument based on the fact that the algorithm is undervaluing Tennessee. Do you think that Tennessee is undervalued in the algorithm?
Well, let me ask you
Meaning,
this. If you're trying to make a schedule that is quote unquote fair, what do you think is the best thing to do? Do you think it's better to try to project how good a team might be over the next 10 years? Or do you think it's better to use their record over the past 10 years?
oh, for sure, the
Like,
last 10.
do we
I'm an
really
Auburn
want
fan.
people
I can keep
guessing?
it.
Well, I think Ole Miss is going to be pretty good under Lane Kiffin, so we're going to bump them up. Texas A&M's been an 8-4 team forever, but look at their recruiting. I think they're going to win an average of 10 games over the next 10 years. Let's bump them up. Is that really what we want to do? Or do we want to go off of facts? The facts are Tennessee has been a toilet bowl program for 9 out of the last 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
So the algorithm is not right or wrong. It's not even really an algorithm. It's just it's a 10-year average of what's your record. That's all it is.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think it's a complete and total waste of time to try to make everyone's schedule, quote unquote, fair or equal.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous unless you are completely redoing the schedules every single year. Because short of that, there is no way to make the schedules anywhere close to equal or fair. Florida's been in the toilet over the last 10 years. Is Georgia complaining? Florida at any time could get good again. I mean, they have the ability to do that. We've seen that. We have to play them every year. Oh, not fair. So I would rather they focused on giving us rivalries or interesting games rather than trying to convince people that they made the schedule in a fair or equal way. There is no way to make the schedule fair or equal. There's not. Because you don't know how good or bad any of these. Let me ask you this, and this goes for the Alabama fans too. Now, some of them live in reality. It's a small amount.
Very few.
Nick Saban is not going to be the coach of Alabama in 10 years.
Praise Jesus.
Okay? So at some point, Alabama's not going to be the team they are today. Should we project that when we're trying to build the schedule out? No, that's ridiculous. You have to go, if you're going to use records to make the schedule, you got to use the records that exist. You can't make up what you think a team's records might be in the future. So Saban crying about our schedule's hard because LSU and Tennessee were good last year. Okay, well, what did he fucking do? 2 years ago, neither one of those teams could make a bowl game.
Yeah,
I mean, what are we
2
really
years ago,
crying
Auburn,
about
Tennessee,
here?
and LSU all struggled to make a bowl game.
That's what I'm saying. It's just completely ridiculous. Nick Saban should be embarrassed and ashamed of himself. He knows better. There is no way to make an equitable schedule for 16 teams in the SEC because you don't know how good these teams are going to be from 1 year to the next, never mind 10 years down the road. If we were doing this in 2010, no one would want to play Auburn.
Yeah.
If we were doing this in 2013, no one would want to play Auburn. They won a natty in 2010. They played for one in 2013. I mean, they looked like one of the best programs in the country from 2010 to 2013. So if we were doing this in 2014, people would be going, I can't believe I got to play Auburn every year. Well, it turns out it would have been 10 guaranteed wins in a row because they've been in the fucking toilet. So as far as trying to make the schedules fair or equal, there's no way to do that. Give me the rivalry games that matter and then just fill in the rest. I really don't care. And here's the other thing. Does it really matter who your three permanent opponents are? Okay, let's say Georgia's three permanent opponents were Vandy, Mizzou, and Kentucky. Okay, that looks like 3 wins, right? Okay, well in that same year we're going to have to play Alabama, LSU, Texas A&M, Oklahoma, and South Carolina. So even if you draw the easiest of the 3 permanent opponents, you're still running a gauntlet to get to the SEC title game at the end.
Still,
so we're crying over nothing. You're crying
teams.
over 1/3 of this conference schedule. 1/3.
Crazy.
It's ridiculous. Saban ought to shut the fuck up, play the schedule he's given. I'm sick of all this crybaby shit. Oh, we shouldn't be allowed to play FCS teams. This is dumb. Then he goes out and schedules FCS games. And he goes, well, everybody else is doing it, so I'm going to do it. Well, do you want to be a leader or a follower, dummy? Either be a leader and stop scheduling FCS games, or shut the fuck up about it.
I think he thinks because he has so much sway, because there's so many bandwagon Alabama fans across the country, that if he puts stuff out, there'll be enough outcry.
Yeah. And look,
he
does have a lot of sway. He's one of the most powerful voices in college football, and there's been a lot of occasions where he's used that voice, in my opinion, for the betterment of college football. Some rules, situations, things like that. But to cry because he's going to have to play 3 teams every year. But by the way, 3 teams that he has played every single year since he's been at Bama, while he's been busy winning 6 national titles. Now, all of a sudden, he has a problem with playing those 3 teams? Hey, dummy, get the fucking jello out of your throat, breathe, relax, and realize that you've won 6 of the last 15 national titles while playing those 3 teams that you're crying about, dummy.
Ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
That is ridiculous.
Fucking
Thanks for taking my call, Luke.
Yeah, thank you for calling in and getting me all riled up. That was amazing. Nick Saban's got to stop the fucking dummy routine. Jesus. That was a 5-star caller. But Nick Saban's a 5-star dummy. It's just facts. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Well, maybe I'll give you a little something to smile about after I saw you get all riled up there.